Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of Collectively Fearless with your host, Matt. And today we're going to talk about codependency versus independency. But first, I got to give a quick plug to my sponsor, Urban Boulevard. If you guys haven't checked them out yet, go to their website right below me. They're a clothing company with a lot of really cool unisex clothes, shoes, accessories. They got it all. So if you go to their website right now and you see anything on there that you really like, make sure that you apply my promo code Maddie25 to get 25% off your purchase. So, guys, what are you waiting for? Go there right now, apply my discount code. I guarantee you're going to like what you see. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's episode on codependency and independency. Now, there's nothing really wrong with either of those two categories. I think there can be a very healthy aspect to each. But there can also be an extremely unhealthy aspect to both of those things as well. If you're too independent, that's not necessarily good because at some point you are gonna need to have certain people in your life, and codependency can have a very negative impact because you're just constantly you're just constantly hungry for like other people's attention and for other people's company. It's finding the right balance between the two that I think will be able to provide you with a very happy and more prosperous life. And so let me go ahead and get into independency first. So for the most part, I would consider myself a very independent person. I'm not I wouldn't consider myself needy or clingy at all. I mean I have my moments like everybody else does, right? But as I've gotten older and I've grown into myself more, and I've gotten more I've mellowed out a lot, and have gotten more comfortable with myself. I think, like, honestly, if worse came to worse and I was the only person here on planet Earth, well then cool. That means like I have everything. Like I can go and work out at a gym by myself without having anybody like interrupting me or trying to irritate me. I can go to restaurants and eat all the food that I want. Like honestly, like it would be a dream come true for me if I was really the only man on planet Earth. Um, but there is such a thing as being too independent, where you're just completely closed off to everybody, and you just don't really ever feel like you need anybody to come alongside and help you. It kind of goes back to that one song. I don't think it's the Beatles. I don't think it's their song "Help." I think it's I think it's an Eagles song. I could be wrong on that. Eric Clapton, but it's a song about I can buy a little help. No. It's not one of those two. I think that's John Lennon. John, yeah, I think that is John Lennon. He wrote a song. It went something along, and like, guys, don't laugh at me. I'm not a Beatles fan whatsoever, but I do know the song that John Lennon wrote, which it goes something like, "I can buy a little help from my friends," and that's absolutely 100% true. We all could use somebody. We all could use somebody's help, right? We could all use somebody else's company. And so I think people that are too independent, especially people that are super full of themselves, kind of like I was at one point, to be honest, if I'm being completely upfront with you guys. There was a point in my life a few years ago where I was too independent, and like honestly, like that starts to that also starts to wear on you after a while, and it starts to all come crashing down, because it's not really necessarily that like you don't need anybody else, or that you don't need anybody, period, but it's that you have such an ego about yourself that like you just think that you know you're the only one that has all the answers, and that you're the only one that could ever really have your own best interests at heart, or that could ever really know like what you want, when that's absolutely not the case. There's at least one, if not two people here on this planet that share the same values, share the same goals, and you guys are just wired the same. But let me go ahead and get into the pros and cons of codependency too, because I think it's important. Because there is a healthy aspect to codependency, where again, like you bring people in your life, you welcome other people in your life because they could not only help you get better as a person, they not only have a certain things that you really need that they can offer you, and so that's why you're bringing them on board. That's why you're welcoming. That's why you're letting your guard down and just letting people into your circle. So that's a healthy aspect of codependency. Where codependency starts to get a little bit out of control is where you just need it all the time. You just need the attention. You just need the you just need the laser focus from other people. You just need somebody there right by your side 24/7, and that's not super healthy either. Because what happens for people that for and when I say people, I mean the vast majority of people are like that because they're depressed, they're anxious, they feel hopeless. They don't feel like they have any real like desires or a real or any kind of real direction. Like most people are just spinning their wheels right now. And by spinning your wheels, you're only producing like in yourself more and more anxiety, more and more uncertainty, not never knowing, like what your life is like, what's going to be in store for your life 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And so I find that when most people are lost and they're confused and they just don't, they just feel lost. They need somebody to come along and fill whatever void that they have in their life, and that void can come from like their childhood, some past experiences. Maybe they were bullied a lot in school and didn't have any friends. Maybe they grew up in an abusive household. But everybody's just constantly always looking for that quick and easy fix. You know, and because most people want to try and keep taking the easy way out, well then, usually the people that they gravitate to the most, the people that they want to just keep bringing in and want to be with 24/7. Usually those people are not the right people to bring in your life. Usually those people are very dark, negative, and can just be a complete cancer. And I've seen it time and time again, not just with like in serious relationships, but with friends, with business partnerships, with just everything in between. If you feel negative, if you feel depressed, if you feel hopeless, well, in turn you're gonna attract the same thing into your life. And so that's why I always say that if you're in a similar situation to me where maybe you're completely alone and don't have anybody in your life, you're you're really like in the best place in life that you could possibly be. Because outside of maybe the other obligations that you have right now, you have time. You have time to work on yourself. You have time to build your craft. You have time to build your resources. You have time to build your empire up. And I know it's not a very easy thing to say or an easy thing to hear, but that's almost impossible for people. I'm not saying it is impossible, but it's pretty damn close to impossible for people that are in serious committed relationships right now, or they're married, or they have kids, because they have less time, because they have less bandwidth. But you have all the bandwidth, you have all the time. And so if you're in a place right now where you're just completely alone, even if you have zero people in your life, consider that a blessing, because that means okay, now you have more time to grow. Now you have more time to improve your life. Now, now there's a final point that I wanted to bring up to in regards to independency and codependency is that most people when they get very codependent, very clingy, and very needy, and they attract certain people into their life, right? And usually those people are super negative. Usually what happens is, they'll look at other people, even if it's people that they've never met, people that they don't really know. But especially if you're a guy, if you're a really young guy, all you really think about, you mainly, you don't really think with your mind, you don't really think with your heart, you mainly just think with your penis, right? So whenever you see a really hot, attractive girl with like nice boobs, a big ass, you automatically think, oh, that's girlfriend material, or that's wife material. I better get her number. I better interject myself into her life and make her my girlfriend, and make her mine. And I think that's usually what happens. Most people put other people up on a pedestal that's so high that when they actually do get involved with that person, when they do start to form a serious relationship with that person, if that person has any, which we all do, we all have idiosyncrasies, we all have certain things that we need to work on, right? We all have deficiencies. We're all human beings at the end of the day. We're not perfect. And so just letting you know, if you're in that situation right now, if you fit that description, just know that person is going to fail you at some point, and they might fail you hard. And when they fail you hard, it might feel very, you might feel a little bit sad or betrayed, or feel like there's like this is the only person. They may not be perfect, and they might like drop the ball on a lot of shit, but there's nobody else out there for you, because this is the one. This is the one. This is the perfect one. I have to stay with this one, even though like this person like is just always hurting me. And so, which brings me to my next point, which is resentment, guys. Even if you might be in a similar situation to me, where you're just alone, but you're harboring a lot of resentment for other people, and that's why you're alone, because you just have a lot of trust issues, and you just don't trust other people around you. Really, resentment is a form of codependency. I know you may not look at it through that lens, because you're alone right now, but that's the truth. Resentment is codependency, because what are you doing? Well, what you're doing is, even though you may not physically be with that person, well, you're constantly thinking about them, right? Or something comes up, something negative comes up, and you automatically go, fuck that person. Like, I can't believe I was ever involved with that person at any point in my life. Realize that while you're harboring all this animosity, like I know how the saying goes, right? Like, when you do that, you're actually hurting the other person, when really you're just hurting yourself, because nine and a half times out of 10, that person's not thinking about you at all. They don't give a second thought about you. They're thinking about, oh, fuck, that bitch wife of mine, like, in that argument that they got in, like, she's the fucking bane of my existence. That's just a really, like, negative example, but most people aren't really thinking about you. Most people aren't really thinking about anybody. They're just thinking about what's going on in their life currently. They're just thinking about the bills that they have to pay. They're just thinking about their relationships. That's that's all that's really going through their mind at the end of the day. Nothing that they ever do has anything to do with you. And not only is that other person not really thinking about you, but you're wasting your time by doing that. You're wasting your resources. You're spending all this time harboring all this resentment, when really you could focus all of that energy 100% on something else. Making yourself better, and really going after your goals and aspirations. So anyway, guys, it's getting to that time right now. This is probably the longest video that I've done in a long time. But guys, remember, subscribe to me on YouTube, follow me on Instagram, share this content with your friends and your family. And as always, I will see you guys again tomorrow for another daily episode.